got that roof skin in there. Got it mocked up. This is just, it's not where it needs to be. I just got it in there. I still got to take some final measurements and get it, you know, my side to side, front to back, all of that. This one definitely was a pain in the ass because, like I said, this is a LS box Chevy, so it has the LS top that goes on here. So the top comes to about comes a little bit past this lip right here, so probably like right here. So this roof has to get scooted back just a little bit. So I would imagine when it's all said and done, he's gonna be right in that area right there, if that was his top. Of course, this piece right here is gonna get scooted back probably a ½ inch. So my ruler is a little farther forward, but that'll be about where the top would sit once this is scooted back. Top should sit right in there. That gives him about 2 inches, 1.75 inches between his glass and the LS top. So, like I said, this is a Cadillac CTS-V roof. It's like 3 inches bigger than the Buick and the Impala roofs that come in the newer model cars. So I had to cut into the front brace. So in your windshield, you have braces that run across. These are the braces that run across the roof. There's 2 of those. So there was one right here in the middle. Then I think, oh yeah, one right here in the middle, and then there was one closer back here in the back that ran all the way across. They're just stamped metal, thin sheet metal. And then you got your front and your back brace. So your front brace, it was probably like 5 inches wide, and it just braces the front, gives this front strength. So I had to cut into it. I cut probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches out of that front brace right there to be able to make the roof sit in there, because the roof, the panoramic roof bolts up here. So to bolt up there, you know, it's got bolts all the way around it. So it has to bolt up into those holes. The motor on this roof is in the back, so it gives it a lot more space. The Chrysler 300 roofs, the motors are in the front, so it's a lot more bulky in the front up here. So this one, I was able to cut that front cross brace out. So now the process is, now that I got it cut out, and once I got to put the glass in, put the roof in, take all my measurements, get it exactly where I want it, side to side, front to back, tack it all the way around, and then I can drop the roof back out and start welding my bracing back in here. So I'll brace all the way down the sides. As you can see, in the Cadillac, of course, your whole roof, this is welded into the structure of the roof. So this is made to be structured. So I'll take bracing. I could either cut this bracing up, or I can just make some new bracing out of some flat stock and weld in here, and weld from here to here in a few different spots along each side. Of course, in the back, you don't have nothing. It's a big gap right there. But in the front, I'll re-brace all of this into the front, make sure that I weld this structure back into this structure. I'll probably have to box this in a little bit to close this gap up, but I'll just go ahead and weld that in there, box this up, make sure that I got that structure back in there so that he still retains the structure of his roof. You know, these cars, they got some structure to them, but the roof was never really designed to be like, you know, super strong. Like I said, them braces is just stamped real thin sheet metal. So if you had a regular box Chevy and you was to press down on your roof, you know your roof is gonna flex up and down. And that's why they say, you know, never stand on the top of your car. You see a lot of guys get excited and want to show off and stand on the top of the roof of the cars and stuff and dent them all up and everything, or bend them and stuff. So, but yeah, that's the little process. This is where we at with it. Like I said, I'll have supports going across on each side. I'll tie this front back in. The underside gets welded as well. You see these little gaps. You see my gap between my original roof skin and the skin of the CTS-V roof. I'll tack weld that on the inside as well as the, you know, the outside of the skin up here, tacked all the way around. And any spot that I can get to on the underside, I'll tack the two together too, just to give it a little more strength. I'm waiting on the LS top. I don't have the LS top here, so I want to have the LS top to be able to set it on here and get it all mocked up before I start welding, because you can see this roof right here, and this area right here, it wants to pop down. So of course, once the glass is up in there, it'll hold all of this up. But I also want to make sure that before I start welding, I had the LS top on here, because the LS top is designed to sit flush with this roof all the way across, and it kind of like basically seals itself all the way across, which is a kind of rubber foam gasket. So I want to make sure that I got everything tightened up, and before I really start tacking it all the way in there, that LS top is fitting smoothly all the way across the whole rear contour of this metal, as well as the old top, so that it flows nice and even. And after he gets the car fully, you know, because all of this I had to get body worked and everything, but I wanted to, once he gets the car fully body worked and everything, there should be no gap where that LS top sits along the top of that roof. It should fit flush all the way around. So that's what I'm waiting on before I actually make my final adjustments and get, like I said, side to side, front to back, exactly where I want it. Have that top sitting on there, make sure everything lines up, make sure that, you know, wherever his top sits, measure from that top to this edge and make sure that it's got a perfectly symmetrical lines, all of that stuff. So that's just the process. That's where we at. Like I said, this is just fitting in there. Had to do a lot of work to get it to go in there. It wouldn't have been as hard if he would have used, like I said, the Impala roof or the one that come in the Lucerne or LaCrosse, whatever the Buick is, but they're like 2-3 inches smaller. So that inner frame where the roof bolts up is a lot smaller, 2-3 inches smaller. So I probably wouldn't have had to cut into that front pillar as much. But, you know, this is the process. This is what you have to do to put some of these roofs in these cars. I put a Chrysler 300 roof in a 2016 Dodge Charger. Them videos is on my YouTube channel. I had to do the same thing, cut into the front pillar support, windshield support, and to get that 300 roof to fit in there. And it went in there, you know. I had to add a lot of bracing and stuff in the roof, but same thing I'll do to this one. But I hope everybody likes it, man. Customer, he's gonna be happy. And a couple days, I got my kids this weekend, so I won't be back in the shop until either Sunday evening or Monday. And we'll get this lined out and get it all welded up and everything. I'm still waiting to hear about the floors. I looked online, and I couldn't find any replacement floors for these box Chevys. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to start doing some research. I'm gonna post in the box Chevy group on Facebook and see if anybody knows of a manufacturer that's selling replacement floor pans, or if there's another vehicle that has a similar floor that I could possibly get the pan and kind of modify it a little bit to fit these floors. Because if the customer does want to replace it, which I'm sure he will eventually, I don't know if he wants to do it right now, but eventually I'm positive that he's going to want to replace it because he's putting a lot of money in this car. But I just don't want to have to make everything from scratch. I would like to start with at least some kind of basis and, you know, either add on or modify that to keep me from having to bead roll and, you know, make all of this by hand. But if need be, that's what I'll have to do. But like I said, I appreciate y'all watching. All the love, support, comments. I'm gonna keep these videos coming, and we're gonna stay on this journey.